You're now listening to the Gambling with Gold podcast with Jason Gold. Presented by Champions Round.
Welcome back to Gambling with Gold. My name is Jason Gold. This is episode 85, NBA Finals, Game 6. As always, joined by my buddy from the Action Network, Dan Titus. Dan, going to be an interesting one. Could be a closeout game. Game 6, Clay, and no Scott Foster tonight. Going to be a wild one. I expected Scott Foster. I would have put him at like minus 1,000 to beat the ref tonight. Maybe the NBA is saying something to us here. How you doing today?
Doing great, dude. And Game 6, you're right. Is this the Game 6 Clay moment we've been waiting for? 28 points he's been averaging in Game 6s over the course of his NBA Finals career. So this is going to be an interesting one. And yeah, with Scott Foster not on the horn, I don't know, man. This could be this could be a Warriors in 6 here. I'd be interested to see it, but I hope it's not. I still have a 7-1 ticket open for Warriors in 7 that I'm holding on for dear life. But I think there's a couple angles that I still can get on the Boston side here in the event that it winds up getting out of hand in a live betting situation.
Would you? Well, let's start here then. So you have a 7-1 ticket out there for the Warriors to win in 7. Is there any interest on your behalf to bet the Warriors money line tonight plus 140 as a hedge?
Yes, Warriors money line is certainly a hedge. I'm definitely going to try to do that live betting because I think I might be able to get a better price because I do like the Boston Celtics in the first quarter, or even in the first half. I got to get back into to see if I like the first half line. I think it was at 1.5 last I looked, but I think that's certainly a hedge. And then also, if the Celtics do win, I could also hedge. I would imagine that there would probably be around 4-point dogs going into Game 7 at Chase. I think that is also a nice middle ground that I could probably do as well.
So a lot of options available to you right now. First quarter for the Celtics, minus 1.5, minus 115 at BetMGM. First half, minus 3.5 Boston plus 100.
Ooh.
That is very, very odd number. Total there, 106.5. Money line for the first half, minus 175. Minus 160 first quarter money line for Boston.
Yeah, I'd probably lay the juice on the minus 160, avoid the spread there. I do like the Boston Celtics team total over 27.5 points. I saw like late last night, they were offering that at plus odds at some books as low as even. So with Boston, I think that this is the game that they get up for. I mean, they have no choice right now. They're 3-0 in elimination games in this postseason. They're battle tested. I think that they'll try to cut down on the turnovers, at least initially. And they've always been throughout this series, they've always been good in the first quarter, minus one game. And that was Game 5 where they completely shit the bed. But, 4 out of 5, they've gone over 27.5. So I think that's actually a pretty small margin considering that they're going to come out aggressive. I expect that Jaylen Brown is going to be attacking the rim, trying to get those easy shots by the rim because that was what proved to be successful in their wins in this series thus far. And if you look at the numbers, Jaylen Brown is averaging the most points in the first quarter, 8, and Jason Tatum as well at 8. So, if those two guys can step up, this is where they want to do it. Get active and get active early and take that early out lead and see how the game progresses thereafter, what adjustments you have to make.
All right, first quarter, Boston Celtics. BetMGM has a 27.5 minus 120 to the over, 28.5 plus 110, 29.5 plus 140. So maybe some interesting angles there if you think that Boston Celtics are going to come out hot. In terms of the game in general, so spread, Boston minus 3.5, minus 115, total 209.5, Boston minus 165 on the money line. From a live betting perspective, given your 7-1 ticket out there for a Game 7 for the Warriors, I know you said you wanted to live bet it, wait, maybe grab a money line in the Warriors late, but the spread is also interesting because it creates a really nice middle for you if that happens. What's kind of like the number at which – so this happened last game, but teams that are favored that cover – no. It's not that. It's whichever team wins is 60-0-1 is going to cover. So that's above 6. So are you looking for a number above 6 on the Warriors live and then potentially you want to get in for maybe some sort of middle there?
Yeah, I think 6 sounds like the right number there. And you're right. So, if it gets to, I think 6 is probably the limit that I would draw to it because the other thing that I really love is the Warriors third quarter. I'm going to go back to the well on that one because, the only time that they didn't hit it was in Game 5 and, they lost, I think the point differential was by 11 points in the third. But if you look at the course of the series, even with that 11-point loss in the third quarter, the Warriors are still dominating by 38 points in that quarter. So I think Steve Kerr has proven that he's the guy that makes the adjustments at halftime. And Steph Curry, that's his second best scoring quarter other than the first quarter. So after a guy just shot 0 for 9 for the first time in his like playoff career, and from 3-point range, like I've already watched the videos, like Steph Curry is already warming up to like Johnny Gill shooting threes, like getting into his rhythm. He just feels like it's going to be like one of those Steph games where he's just going to make up for it. So I think that the Warriors are certainly live in this game. My 7-1 doesn't want them to be, but I think there's a very good chance that the Warriors could take care of business here. This is where the veteran leadership and the experience kind of takes shape.
And we definitely saw that in Game 5, that the experience really paid off, especially into the fourth quarter. Obviously, Andrew Wiggins playing like a maniac. In terms of the three-pointers for Steph, let's get to Steph. 4.5 three-pointers tonight, -115 over under both ways. So obviously it's down from the 5.5 it was set at before, but which side are you kind of leaning on there?
That's interesting. 4.5. I kind of lean to actually going to Clay. He's at 3.5, which I think is somebody that I want to bank on because in the last 3 games, he seems like he's really found his stroke. But if I had to lean, I'd probably lean. Oh man,
yeah, it's tough.
I'm gonna go under on 4.5. I still feel like they're gonna try to get out and close out as much as they can. Because they had a shot once again. They just didn't. They didn't take care of the ball in Game 5. If they do that, I think Boston can definitely stay in this game. It's kind of hard to imagine you lose a game where Steph Curry plays so poorly. So that's really a shout to Andrew Wiggins. I was going to ask you, did you buy any MVP Wiggins shares?
No, I did not, and I still don't believe in it. And I still believe that if the Warriors win, Game 4 is an iconic Steph game. We talked about it. It might be the best game that Steph has ever played.
Right.
So couple that with he's been awesome in 4 of the 5 games thus far, and the fact that this is a legacy award, this is a lifetime achievement award. I don't think there's any chance that Wiggins can win. It would take and it's not like Steph is an unlikable guy. Like Harden has sort of situation. Like, well, fuck Harden. Like, give it to someone else. But everyone and their mother loves Steph Curry. There's no reason not to give it to the guy. So no, right. I can't get behind Wiggins unless he had like whatever Giannis did in Game 6 last year. What, he had like 50 and 20. Like if Wiggins had a game like that, sure, but that's just not happening.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, no, I didn't do it because as well as Wiggins is playing, there's always going to be role players that have an extreme impact on the outcome. Besides whoever ends up getting that MVP, like I'm sure you could easily have considered Scottie Pippen in certain situations, or Kobe Bryant in some situations when he was playing with Shaq. So there's always going to be the unheralded heroes, and I think Andrew Wiggins is he's just increasing his value. Once he gets out of this season and on to the next one. I mean, I think he could definitely secure a serious bag here from the way that he's been playing in the NBA Finals.
Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to bring up was, so it seemed like in Game 5 that beyond Steph struggling, he wasn't getting the same shots, and that Boston was doing a really good job of trapping him, getting him high. They were absolutely no drops on defense against him, and I'm assuming that's something that they will try to do again in Game 6. I'm wondering what the Steve Kerr, Steph Curry counter is to that, and whether they're going to design an offense for him to get more shots coming off more screens, running around, maybe more corner threes, or do you think he becomes more of a distributor early, try to get him off his back, and then they let him shoot threes later in the game? Because I'm wondering if Steph Curry assists 5.5 -105 over is a really nice play tonight, given the way that they want to play defense.
Yeah, and that worked for Game 5, and I think you're right. I think it's more of the latter of them playing more pick and roll with Steph, so he can hunt his matchups. They can send the screen, especially when you have someone like Otto Porter out there. Steve Kerr did make the adjustment to moving Kevon Looney to the bench, which I think has worked out pretty well, because I think he can still come off the bench and still give you a lot of high energy and protect that paint and clean the glass a little bit there. But I think when you have Otto Porter out there, if you send that high screen and roll, if they decide to cover with Steph, he drops it off really easily, and you got Otto Porter there for a 3-pointer. So I think that sets up really well for the Warriors role players if they do running more pick and roll versus off the ball, whereas actually kind of wear out Steph a little bit more, right? He's going to have to fight through more screens. They'll be more physical with him, kind of tugging on him. I think that's where the playoff basketball really kind of wears on you. And, he's been great defensively as well. So I think you could probably save a little bit of energy with him and also get others involved if he's in that pick and roll action. And I do like the over 5.5 assists. I think that's a great call.
All right, interesting on that. One of the things that interests me the most in this series, we talked about, I think, after Game 3, was we thought that Steve Kerr may have been out of chess moves, and he had to show his hand first.
Yeah.
I am amazed at how many different variations of like just these little tweaks have made such a big difference in this series.
Like putting in Bielitsa, man. Like he's had a couple of moments that there were just enough moments that it was worthy for him to play. And I think benching Kevon Looney to me was a very interesting move. That he leads the series in plus minus. Like him and Robert Williams are actually the most important players on the floor defensively for both teams. And I think this is going to be a good Robert Williams game. I think he's with all the media talking about how much he's going through to actually play in these games, it's actually pretty amazing. But he's been spectacular for this defense. And, I think he's really risen to the occasion here. And this is all going to come down to, like, I think Robert Williams is going to play his game. Marcus Smart will be solid. He might, chuck up some ill-advised shots here and there, but that's who
my
Marcus
favorite.
Is.
It's my favorite.
But, ultimately, I think that this is where the stars are born, right? This is going to have to be the Tatum, Jaylen Brown game where they both step up, or otherwise this is going to be curtains. And I'm wearing black just in case, you know what I mean? So I think I might have to be going out tonight in the Bay if the Warriors pull this out.
Oh, it's going to be spicy in the Bay if they win for sure. Robert Williams over under 8.5 rebounds plus 105 towards the over. And in terms of his points for tonight, 8.5 points also plus 110 to the over. So you kind of like both of those, both the plus money?
Yeah, I'd put them both together actually at 16.5. I think that's a good play. When I think he's averaging 18.5 points and rebounds over the course of the last 3 games. And, he's gone over in 5 of 7 versus Golden State this season. So when he's gotten minutes, and you best believe he's going to be getting minutes here because they're going to need his defense and just his presence on the court there. So I think if he can get north of 25 minutes, I think that this is going to be a really strong over here.
Okay, 16.5 minus 110 towards the over on the points plus rebound combo stat. Very, very interesting. You know what? Why don't we go through this and then maybe some more player props? I'm going to throw up our daily dozen props for today, and maybe we'll run through a couple of those. All right. Here we go. Jason Tatum, total points, 27.5.
Oh, I wish it was 26.5. Under.
So 27.5 at BetMGM, over minus 125 juiced up. I took the under. Steph Curry total made threes. We talked about that. We're both on the under slightly, but we think it'll probably end up being 4.
Yep.
Jaylen Brown total points 23.5. I took the under here just because I guess we'll talk about it a little bit later in terms of best bets, but my point of view is I think this is a Tatum game, and then it's a bench guy game. So I think that Grant Williams, which we'll talk about in a little bit, Derek White, I think those guys are going to have to step up. And if the Celtics are going to win, which I think they're going to tonight, I think it's going to be those guys rather than Brown going for 24 or 25 points tonight.
Ooh, I feel like that's just like that line is too tight, man. That's sharp. I'm going to go over. I think he's going to have 25.
For what it's worth, the line now at BetMGM is 24.5 minus 110 each way. So you are getting a point of value going to the over here. Andrew Wiggins total rebounds 7.5. He's had 16 and 13 the last 2 games. Juiced over, I believe BetMGM has this at minus 150 to the over. So you're going to take the over here?
Yeah, I think Wiggins has just been phenomenal on the glass, and it's surprising. I gave it out on I believe it was I on? I think it was VSiN. 2 games ago, he was plus 475 to lead the series in rebounding, and he's doing that right now. So, yeah, I wish more people got in on that one.
I wish I would have too. I had no idea. I need to stay up, but I need to stay up till that 2:15 Eastern time slot that you had on last night.
Stay up till 11:30, yo. It's all good because everybody's watching at that time.
You know what? I'll hold the thought. I want to know what the NFL season props that you gave out last night on the show were, but wait 1 second for that. So Jordan Poole total made threes 1.5.
Over.
Klay Thompson total points 20.5. This is now 19.5 at BetMGM. I love the over on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I just gotta. Klay shows up at certain times, man, and he's getting hot at the right time. I'm gonna take the over on it.
The hedge that I wanted to do against the Celtics was like a Game 6 Klay parlay. I'm not a big parlay guy, but the Klay Thompson over points plus Warriors win as a hedge
I
is
like
kind
that.
of an interesting angle.
Yeah. I mean, his success usually bodes well for the entire team there. So if you think it's going to be a Clay game, I would definitely throw him down on that parlay.
Marcus Smart total rebounds 4.5. Prop which we have bet the shit out of at 3.5.
3.5. Yeah.
But 4.5 is getting a little dicey. Although I think he's going to be really involved tonight.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that you said that because I was literally going to say the same thing. And he burned me last game. Do we go back to the well here at one more rebound? I'm gonna go under. Can't do it.
It's tough. It's plus 115 at BetMGM. Unders minus 150. Something about me thinks maybe it's just because we've been so successful with this, but I really want to bet the over on total rebounds in this one. Wiggins total points 18.5.
Ooh, I'm gonna go under on that.
I also took the under. I think it's gonna be close though. I mean,
yeah, I was thinking around the 17-18 range.
Kind of exactly where I was. Al Horford total point 9.5.
This dude's been all over the place, man. I'm gonna go over. I think Al Horford has to show up here.
I went over also. Steph Curry total turnovers 2.5. This is my favorite bet of the day. Over smash.
Yeah, he's gonna get more pressure. Over.
Grant Williams total points 4.5. I also took the over here. I think he's gonna have to be involved tonight, one way or another.
They're successful when he is involved. So who does that come at the detriment of? Maybe it's a little bit of Al Horford, maybe a little bit of Robert Williams, just because they got to give him some time off. But 4.5 seems low. I'd also be curious about his 3-pointers. I think they've been juiced pretty. I mean, they've been getting some pretty good odds there at 1.5 at plus odds. I'd be curious about that or his PRA because he's usually pretty involved when he's on the court from a per minute perspective.
Grant Williams 3-pointers 0.5 minus 150 towards the over.
Ooh, you can get a nice alt on that one.
And then PRA for Grant Williams, 7.5 juiced minus 130 to the over.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take the over on the points for now. I like 4.5. That seems pretty strong.
All right. Draymond Green total assists 6.5.
Steph's getting 5. If Steph gets 6, does that leave 7 for Dre? Probably. Ooh, Draymond's going to be a tough one in this game here. I saw his PRA drop to 20.5, which is like really appealing. I'm gonna go over on Draymond.
It's that one was really tight for me. I didn't know which way to go. I think I ended up on under, but I think it's probably ended up at like 6 or 7.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Okay. NFL season props. Just give me the ones that you bet quickly, and then we'll move on to best bets for tonight.
Yeah, so the first one, I'm loving Derek Carr, man. I don't understand why he's I believe has the 5th shortest odds to lead the league in passing, but with Devontae Adams coming over, obviously, and his rapport with him from college, and then also you have Hunter Renfrow, who's just got the bag, and you got a healthy Darren Waller. I think that this is going to be an elite passing attack in a very, very good division that's going to have to put points on the board. They do run a lot of 21 personnel. I'm expecting them to under Josh McDaniels, but let's not forget Brady did have 8 4,000-yard seasons under his belt under Josh McDaniels as the offensive coordinator. And Derek Carr's coming off 4,800 last year, and that's without Devontae Adams. I'm intrigued, man. At 10-1, I'll definitely sprinkle something on that. I was also looking at Mahomes, who has the same odds at 10-1, which is also very intriguing. It's just how much are we accounting for the loss of Tyreek Hill? But I think Patrick Mahomes is one of those quarterbacks. It doesn't really matter who the receiver is. He's going to be slinging it, and he doesn't really have that big of or at least a reliance on the run with Ronald Jones, who's very unappealing, and CEH, who's just inconsistent. So I think that they're going to be coming out as a pass-happy offense. So I like both 10-1, Derek Carr to lead the league in passing as well as Patrick Mahomes.
Very interesting. All right.
One other one I'll throw out there.
Oh,
it's pretty square, but it's the shortest one on there, but it's still 9-1. Jonathan Taylor to lead the league in rushing. The second person to him is Derrick Henry, who's 28 years old, has a shit ton of mileage on his tires, and is coming off a foot injury. Why would I not bet Jonathan Taylor when he got a better quarterback? His offensive line, according to PFF, improved from like 12 last year to 10. Not a huge jump, but still something. He led the league in yards after contact, like 1,400. He led the league in yards per rush with light boxes at 6.8 yards per carry. So you figure you had Carson Wentz as your quarterback. of course you're going to bring the safety down to help. Now you have Matt Ryan who gets the ball out a little bit quicker. This offense is going to be better with him. I think that they run this kid. They run this kid. He's third year in the league. Like, he's primed to have another great season. So 9-1, like, why not?
Is he not the favorite?
He is the favorite at 9-1. I'm like, okay, like I'll take that.
And a favorite at 9-1. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's a good find. All right. Let's do predictions for the game, and then you know what? Screw it. I'm giving out the NBA draft thing right now. I have to do it. So the Orlando Magic was favored that they were going to take Jabari Smith. The odds were at -300. Jabari Smith's not going number 1. It's going to be Chet. Chet plus 115 to go number 1. Jabari Smith plus 130 to go number 2. Paolo -550 to go number 3. He's still going to go number 3 even after the Christian Wood trade. I'm pretty sure of that, but we can talk about that in a second. 4th overall pick. The Sacramento Kings are not going to take Jaden Ivey. It's not going to happen. This is what the Kings,
because he said he doesn't want to play for the Kings. Or is that Keenan?
He doesn't want to play for the Kings, and also like they have an irrational love for De'Aaron Fox. They've made trades and not picked players because they love De'Aaron Fox, including not taking Luka
Goodbye,
Doncic.
Tyrese Halliburton. We don't need you. Like, it's all
exactly. So what do they need? They need a shooter around De'Aaron Fox to pair him with Sabonis and him. So what are they going to do? Keegan Murray plus 175 or Shaedon Sharpe plus 600. Those are going to be the 2 picks. If they don't trade the pick, those are going to be the guys who go there. So give me all of that. I'm taking Chet number 1. I'm taking Jabari number 2. I'm taking Paolo number 3. And I'm taking one of the 2 guys at number 4. And I'm calling it a day. That's probably all I'm going to gamble on.
I mean, we're only a week away. We are only a week away from it. So I got to dig into it more. But I do like Sharpe at 4 to the Sacramento Kings. That guy's been rising up draft boards. And if you look at his combine numbers and just the measurables that he's been doing, man, like crazy hops, very smooth. Definitely like a nice jumper. And I think you're right. With his size, you pair him as like a true shooting guard next to someone like De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. I think that actually gets, I don't know, it's not making the Kings a playoff team in anytime soon, but like at least it gets you somewhere more competent to the basketball that they've been playing as of late. But I think they're really hurting. They're going to hurt by losing Tyrese Halliburton. Like, that was still a perplexing trade for me. But then also to go back to your point of Chet at number 1, I see it. I mean, it's not like Orlando isn't known to be drafting big men, right? Like, they gave Wendell Carter Jr. the bag. I think Chet probably projects more as a 3 or 4, kind of like a Kevin Durant mold. Even though obviously he's like a lot skinnier and just not Kevin Durant, but he has a skill set, man. Like, and he's a very tough kid, very nice jumper, can handle the ball. Like, I would actually be really cool. It would be cool to see him with, that young core that they have there with Jalen Suggs and Tyrese, and who was I thinking? Markelle Fultz is coming back. And Cole Anthony will probably be a nice 6-man. Jonathan Isaac's probably going to be out of there. He hasn't really been healthy at all. So they're building a nice foundational core. I think Jabari Smith still fits, but I could see the argument for Chet at number 1. I think everyone just wants Chet to go to OKC because it just makes sense. But wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if the value of Jabari Smith falls to Oklahoma City, they'll probably take him. And then Paolo Banchero to Houston makes more sense even more now because last year they drafted Alperen Sengun. He had flashes of being very good. No reason to keep Christian Wood there. You traded him for not that much, but at the same time, I think you're investing in your rebuild. And I think if you get Banchero in there as a scorer alongside Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr., you have a nice little foundation there that you can build on.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with all those points. And I do think I'm doing exactly what I did for the NFL draft. The smoke is on Chet. I'm going to follow it. I think it's going to happen. And I might as well get in now where the money's at plus money, especially since it's already moved quite a bit. So want to get in.
So do you think that he has, so you think Jabari Smith is Aiden Hutchinson right now?
Yes. Except for this is a week before the Walker Hutchinson thing probably started like a month before, but yeah, similar.
Right.
All right. Final predictions for tonight's game. Let you have the floor first. And if there's any best bet that you have on the board, let me know.
I'm going the Celtics team total first quarter over 27.5 points. I like Warriors third quarter money line. Got to go back to the well on that one. And player props. I could get down on some Wiggins, 25.5 points and rebounds, but I do like Robert Williams, 16.5 points and rebounds, as well as Kevon Looney over 6.5 rebounds. I think this is going to be a big so the total is interesting to me because that's moved down from like the previous games of 214 to 210 to 11. I think this is going to be an over. So while I'm expecting more defensive tenacity, I do think that this is going to be a game where the Boston Celtics are going to have to put points on the board to get this done, and the Warriors are going to keep up with them, but won't end up. We'll see. We'll see how the live betting goes, but I don't know that they might be able to pull this one out. I'm praying for this game 7. Give me the game 7 that we all need.
As you were talking, the total at BetMGM went up from 209.5 to 210.5. So if you want to bet the over, go get that number.
Run out of time.
Right. Right now. I am also going to end up being on the Celtics tonight at -3.5, but I am going to hedge that with the Warriors Klay Thompson over parlay.
I like that.
Which will be probably my only parlay tonight. Other Steph Curry over 2.5 turnovers. I'm going to bet that. Grant Williams over 4.5 points. I'm going to bet that. And then everything else I will put on the Champions Round Discord with all the rest of our bets. Also, remember, play Big Board Showdown. You have until next Thursday, obviously, when the NBA draft starts, to go play that. It is 6 positions, 2 guards, 2 forwards, 2 flex positions in a snake draft format. We're going to have tons of good giveaways for that. And I think that's it. So, Dan, thank you so much for joining us. Once again, let's go make some money. We'll be back next week to talk about the NBA draft. Unless this goes to a game 7, and I might call in the reliever for a Saturday pod or a Sunday morning podcast, even though it's going to be Father's Day and I'm going to be out of town. Screw it. We got to talk about a game 7, right?
Dude, I'm going to get my little TikTok outside of the Chase Center. We could do it like, we could do a little stitch. We could stitch ourselves together. I'll just be lit, getting crunk for that game 7. Cause it's definitely it's going to get active in the Bay, man. Game 7s. Woo, we got to make up for that, for the LeBron loss here. So let's get it.
Game 7 pocket Henny.
Hey, now we're talking. It's Father's Day, so I get a pass. So it's all good.
Perfect. All right, guys. Sounds good. We will talk to you soon. Good luck with all your bets tonight. And for Dan's sakes, I guess go Celtics, even though I might vomit saying that.
Yeah, no, I can't say it. Can't say it.
All right, bye.